and gentlemen, my name is Krishna and I'm from St. Mary II Junior High School. Today, I'm going to tell you about a story, and the title is The Tale of the Three Brothers. So let's get into the story. Once upon a time, in a beautiful afternoon, there was three brothers. These brothers were walking up and down the road. They were walking and walking until they found a river. Now the river was too deep and too dangerous for them to swim or to walk across it. So then they think, how are we gonna cross that river? It's impossible, right? Oh, we have learned magical art before. After that, they remembered that they have learned magical art before. So that they took their magic wand and they waved it over the river, when suddenly a magical bridge appears on top of the river. So they were happy about that, and they walk on that bridge until halfway, when their path is blocked. Their path is blocked by a hooded figure. Now, that hooded figure's name was Death. Death was a figure that is usually just chilling in the area of that river and waiting for people to come and drown in the river. But that day, he was very surprised and angry that these three peoples are smart enough to trick him. So that he pretended to congratulate these three brothers and pretended to giving them prizes, even though he has another intention behind it. So then he asked the first brother, "So, since you're smart enough to trick me, I could give you anything you want. What would you want?" And the first brother answered, "Since I'm a very combative man and I like to fight, could I have a powerful wand? The most powerful wand in existence that will win any duel for me. Is it possible?" And after that, Death crossed to an elder three when he designed a wand made from the branches that hung there and gave it to the first brother. And then the second brother answers, "I would like something that could bring back people from death. Is that possible?" He said that because he wants to humiliate Death more. After that, Death crossed toward the riverbank and then grabbed a stone. Now this stone was a resurrection stone and has the power to recall people from death. After that, he gave it to the second brother. Now the third brother was the wisest and the most humble brother. So he did not trust Death. He knew that something fishy is going on. So he would like to ask for something that would make him able to go away from that place without getting followed. Pretty smart, right? So Death unwillingly handed over his own cloak to the third brother that has the power of invisibility. Now after that meeting, they continued to walk. They walked and walked until the moment where they need to separate into their own destination. The first brother traveled for 1 week, and even more than 1 week. He traveled for weeks until he arrived at a village. You guys remember that he has that powerful wand, right? And he was actually looking for a fellow wizard with whom he had a quarrel with in the past. So they have a fight, and just like what we can imagine, he won. The enemy just laid Death on the floor. After that, he proceeded to an inn where he boasted loudly, "Hey everyone, I'm actually smart enough to trick Death, and I snatched this wand from Death myself that makes me invisible. I'm very smart, right?" He said that. Now, that's kind of cocky, isn't it? Because that very night, a fellow wizard grabbed upon the first brother's bed. While he was all wet and soaked in wine, he stole the first brother's wand and slit open the first brother's throat till he was dead. Now this means that death took the first brother's life into his own hand, because that fellow wizard was actually death. Meanwhile, the second brother traveled into his own home, where he lived alone. After that, he remembered about the stone, the resurrection stone, and he twisted it 3 times in his hand. Suddenly, a girl appears out of nowhere. And do you know who that is? That girl is actually a girl that the second brother wants to marry before her death. Unfortunately, they can't really connect with each other and they can't communicate because they were both separated by a veil. They can't communicate, they're not connected. So even though the girl has moved into this mortal world, she was actually suffering in there and she doesn't belong there. And that makes the second brother stressed out and frustrated because what was the point? I can't communicate with her. What was the point? Because he was so frustrated, he finally hung himself up till death, with the hope that he could join her. Now this means that death took the second brother's lives by his own hand. Meanwhile, for the third brother, death was looking for him years and years. He was looking everywhere yet has never been able to find him. You guys know why, right? Because he has that invisible cloak. Now years and years go by until the moment where the third brother needs to hand it over his cloak to his son. Now after that, he became visible and he met with death, and he actually greeted death as an old friend. They were both old at that moment and it's actually time for them to go from this life. After that, they both departed from this mortal world gladly and equally. Now, that was the story of the tale of the 3 brothers. So, what could we learn from this story? We learned that as human, we should be wise like the third brother. We should not be greedy and cocky like how the first and the second brothers try to humiliate death. We should always stay humble and think clearly and wisely at all times, because we never know what could happen. Okay? So that was my storytelling today. I hope that you guys enjoy listening to the story. And I would like to say thank you very much for listening. God bless you and have a nice day. Bye everyone!